Hey guys, Frozen X is here. Today I'm going to be covering a solo Dark Zone build slash guide. We're going to start off with weapons and then go into talents and perks, which is going to be the main part of the video because the talents and perks are really what make up the build. The weapons and armor is really just get the stuff you're best with, weapons wise, and armor, just get the best armor rating you can. And in my opinion, fuck the electronic skill. This is completely fucking useless. I don't know what Ubisoft was thinking by adding that in there, but I have never used this all that much. Like, sure, I throw down a turret or use a seeker mine every so often, but realistically, that amount, like adding my skill that's on cooldown for most of the time at the cost of health or actual damage, I'm not doing that. I would lower this even further to get more health or damage. I don't see, a turret making up for 64,800 or 64,800 DPS. I would rather do the extra, 5 to 8,000 DPS that I have because I use all firearms and stamina modded gear than sacrifice that for some crappy electronics thing that will make my skills that are only up like once every 30 seconds, more powerful. But that's my opinion. If you really just, like having everything balanced out, I mean, you do you. I just think you're going to really notice that you don't have as much health and you're not dealing as much damage as everyone else because, sure, your turrets and mines, seeker mines will be great, but I'm going to shoot you in the head like twice and you're going to die. But anyway, starting off with your weapons, you need a sniper, or a marksman rifle is what it's called, and you need it to be a bolt action one. I know what you're thinking probably, I like the RPM, I like being able to spam fire. I'm thinking about this in the sense that you may have to deal with rogue players. Sure, there aren't a lot of rogue players right now as the, Dark Zone really has no incentive to go rogue. You lose a lot more than you would gain if you're successful, and it's also incredibly difficult to go rogue. So I would recommend not going rogue, but you will encounter players that shoot you. I've encountered teams of 4 people that have just attacked me for my gear. It's kind of absurd, but they do what they want to do. I mean, if it's fun for them, yeah, I have no problem with it. I'll probably make videos of me going rogue, killing players just for the hell of it. Like, I'm not doing it to gain, but players do it just for the fun of it. So you need a gun or a sniper that if a player engages you, you can kill them 2 shots to the head. A marksman rifle that is semi-automatic will not do that. A marksman rifle semi-automatic is going to take 3 or 4 shots to kill him to the head, depending on how good it is. The bolt action ones will always be 2 shots. I mean, not always if you're using a shitty gun, but this will kill a player 2 shots to the head, guaranteed, as long as they don't heal. The other problem with the semi-automatic one is that if you shoot a player 4 or 5 times in the chest, they're still not going to die. They're going to have like half a bar of health left, and that will give them plenty of time to just use a med kit, and then you've wasted half your mag. You're reloading, and they're at full health. Use a semi-automatic rifle in the Dark Zone, even if you don't outside of it. I'm telling you, not use a semi-automatic. Don't use the semi-automatic. Use a bolt action in the Dark Zone, even if you don't outside of it. It will really save your life, especially in rogue encounters, and it just in general, it will do more damage against the elite enemies you'll be facing because every enemy in the Dark Zone is superior or elite once you get to level 30. My second weapon, I go with an assault rifle because, as I just mentioned, all enemies are superior or elite, meaning they're like level 31 to 32 purple or yellow guys. And I don't know about you, but I'm not all about getting up close enough to use an SMG. I would rather just sit back at a medium distance with an assault rifle and take them down slowly, switch off between an assault rifle and a sniper because they can both be used at the same range. But if you run in with a submachine gun, you're now using that submachine gun. If you have to reload, you have to switch to your sidearm because you have a bolt action sniper now. You switch to that, you get 1 shot. If they have a shotgun, you're dead before you can even reload that bolt. But that's just my opinion. Like, this is all really opinion based, especially with the firearms. if you prefer the submachine gun, if you like a shotgun, if getting up close to enemies is your thing, you do it. I'm not good with that. I die a lot when I get up close. I prefer to stay back and take them down slowly and, be safe while I do it. And for my sidearm, I use a shotgun just in case, a player or an enemy does rush me. It'll do a lot of damage close range. You get 2 shots with it, and then it's not a very long reload, so it's not too bad. I know some people like pistols, but realistically in the Dark Zone, the amount of damage or amount of shots a pistol will take to kill one enemy is just, it's not worth it. Just use a shotgun because you're going to be, if they're that close that you're using a pistol anyway, you should just be using a shotgun. Gear-wise, like I said, just get the best shit you can and screw the electronics. And for perks, or skills, sorry, perks are obviously just static. You don't choose these, you just get them as you unlock. I went with, well, this one isn't really a question. Support station is your first skill. A lot of people overlook this because they read this and saw drops a revival station that automatically revives any allies who are downed within the affected area. They read allies and go, oh, well, this is useless to a solo guide. Well, it's not. Outside of the Dark Zone, when you die, you die. In the Dark Zone, you go into last stand even if you're not in a group. Meaning, if you have this down and you go down, you will revive yourself. You have a self-revive as long as you're standing within your life support circle. No other perk in the tree will give you a self-revive. Not even this. You can't use this when you're down. The first aid, sure, it has a revive in here, the defibrillator, but that's only because you can use that while you're up. This will revive you while you're down. This can revive anyone in your team while they're down, but this is a solo guide. So, for your first perk, use support station with life support, because if you're at a extraction zone and you have got some really epic high-end loot that you really want to get back, it's going to be the best sniper or best gun that you've ever had, and a charger rushes up to you, behind you, they down you in 2 shots from a shotgun, and you're screwed. You just lost your item. If you have your life support station down, you get a second chance at keeping that item. And if you think about it, if you're playing solo and you just don't leave this life support area, you can go down as many fucking times as you want. It will keep getting you back up as long as it doesn't run out of time while you're down. So as long as you just stay in that green circle or stay close enough you can move to it and make sure enemies can't shoot it, this fucking mod is incredibly overpowered for a solo Dark Zone build. You need this. Nothing else will give you a self-revive. Now, for your second skill, this is more arguable. I mean, you could use the Seeker Mine. I prefer the turret because it has the active sensor. What this will do is mark your targets for you. You're in the Dark Zone alone, and if a rogue agent comes up to you and you need another person to shoot at them, you need a turret. Along with that, it will also mark them, so while they're suppressed in cover, you can do some sneaky shit and try and move around them, and you can still see where they are, and as long as you move sneakily, they won't know where you are. It also, just in combat, it gives you another body. Like, it's something for them to shoot at, it's something that will distract them, it'll do damage, it'll make them move cover if you throw it behind them. All in all, this is a little more useful in the Dark Zone than I think anywhere else. The Seeker Mine, yeah, sure, you can make the argument for it, but my issue with it is if you're using it in a situation where you're fighting a rogue or you are a rogue, like, none of this stuff is really gonna help you. An air burst, they will absolutely get out of the way before that triggers. Don't try and use an air burst against another player. They'll just move. The gas charge, sure, that will be great for getting them out of cover, but there's a lot of other things you can do to get them out of cover, like throwing any regular grenade. And the cluster, if you're fighting like 4 rogues at once, sure, this is great, but if you're fighting 4 rogues at once, I would just hit your T, you take 80% less damage, and you move 30% faster, meaning they're not gonna fucking kill you while you have this active. It would take a just really insane amount of headshots and really good accuracy, along with the fact they can't keep up with you. So if you have 4 guys on you, just hit your T, run the hell away. They won't, I mean, sure, you'll take some damage. You might get down to 1 bar of health. But chances are, unless it's a team of 4 snipers who are all like MLG and can hit you right in the head as you're running away and swerving and all the cluster that's on the field, you're going to be good. Because you're taking 1/5 of the damage you normally do. You move faster, meaning it's already harder to hit you because you just zigzag. No one can hit a zigzag. And this lasts for 15 seconds opposed to anything else, which only lasts for 5 and 12 seconds. So this will give you plenty of time to get the hell away, and you'll be fine. So that's it for skills. Let's get into talents. Obviously, I still haven't unlocked the 100% of the medical wing because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But I'll still talk about what the 4th skill I would choose is. So first off, this was the same skill. This was one of the skills in the non-Dark Zone guide. Use a med kit during low health to increase damage resistant by 40% for 10 seconds. Low health is defined as 1 bar of health. This bar of health. Generally, that's when I use my med kits. I'm standing in my life support station to keep myself topped off. When I get really low, to get that quick boost is when I use a med kit. And after I use a med kit, I generally stand right up to shoot. Meaning, if I'm shooting at another enemy and I'm taking 40% less damage right after I healed while standing in my healing station, usually you can take down any elite in that 10-second period. And if you're fighting a player, well, if you used your med kit and you're taking 40% less damage for 10 seconds, during those 10 seconds, you're guaranteed to win a standoff. If you have the same accuracy, a gun that does relatively the same damage, if you're taking 40% less damage, you're going to win every time. Unless they headshot you a bunch of times, like I previously said, but, crazier shit has happened, and you can't account for every variable in the Dark Zone, because human behavior is absolutely absurd, and no one can track all of it. Alright, so Tactical Advance is the next thing I would have. This increases your weapon damage by 2% per meter covered. I use this because in the Dark Zone, you're going to be moving around a lot. There's a lot of enemies. Even if you're playing solo, the enemies are scaled for a 3 to 4 person team. They're all superior, they're elite, they'll rush up on you, they'll get flanks on you. You're going to be moving cover a lot. Having the extra damage for 10 seconds will help you a lot. And people don't think about this per meter thing. They think a meter is a long distance. Well, your average move is 5 to 10 meters. So that's 10 to 20% extra damage you're getting for 10 seconds in your average move. And if you take this skill or talent into advance into just think about it ahead of time, you can try and move say 20 meters, and then you're going to have a massive 40% boost of damage for 10 seconds. And if you combine that with the fact of you were just low health, maybe you are getting out of a grenade, you used the med kit, got out of a grenade, you're now dealing 20% extra damage while taking 40% less damage. In any situation, no one can argue that's a bad thing. So, moving on to Evasive Action. During a cover-to-cover move, incoming damage is reduced by 30%. Like I previously just said, all enemies are scaled for a 3 to 4 person team, meaning they deal a fuck ton of damage. So, every time you're out of cover, you want to be taking as little damage as possible. This is not like a 10-second thing, not like a only when this, but as long as you're moving cover to cover, which you should be in a fight, you shouldn't just be standing up and running, that's just insane. You will be taking 30% less damage. That's very crucial because, like I said, they're going to flank you, they're going to charge you, they're stronger, and it's going to take you longer to whittle them down and kill you. So when you're moving, you really want to be protected, and being 30% protected is better than being 0% protected. I really keep messing up my English in this video, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a cybersecurity major. I'm not into this whole public speaking talk thing. I'm just trying to do my best. I'm kind of a nerd, so I'm pretty good at this, but other than that, I can't really English very well. Alright, and for the last talent, I went with Steady Hands. Enter any cover to reduce recoil by 20% for 10 seconds. Well, once you get into combat, you're going to be entering cover, clearly, And, you know, I use an assault rifle. The 25% reduction to recoil is amazing for the assault rifle because they are known for the recoil. They do more damage and have a longer range at the cost of the recoil and accuracy. So, if you have lowered recoil for 10 seconds, you pretty much have an assault rifle that is just as good as an SMG recoil-wise, but you can hit players or enemies from a much farther distance with a lot more damage, because submachine guns and assault rifles, I should say this real quick, submachine guns and assault rifles do relatively the same damage, except submachine guns have that higher crit chance, but with that crit chance, their damage also drops off very quicker at a further range. If you shoot a player from, I don't know, 30 meters with an SMG, it's probably going to do like half the damage of what it should be, while if you shoot a player at 30 meters with an assault rifle, well, that's the range that an assault rifle should be used, and it will be doing the damage it should. So I would definitely go with the reduced recoil. Even if you're not using a shotgun or a assault rifle, this will help you with an SMG a lot, because just imagine if that was even more stable and you could just hit a player or an enemy in the head for 10 seconds straight with your huge mag SMG. That would be amazing and probably way overpowered, but you know, I don't like getting close enough to enemies, because if you're that close to them, if they have a shotgun, they're gonna win. Elite shotgunners will win, and a lot of times even guys with assault rifles will just knock you down to so low health you can't even shoot for 10 seconds straight. So I'm sticking with this for the sole purpose that I use an assault rifle. This helps me because I move cover to cover a lot, and assault rifles really just don't have great recoil. And like I said before, perks are just, passive. You get them as you unlock different wings. There's nothing you can, really select in perks. Other than that, that's really the end of the guide. I don't have much else to say about any of this stuff. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I did go over everything I wanted to go over, so that'll be it. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.